Good afternoon and welcome back to another week of London Calling. I'm Tom Knock and I'm joined today by Jack Hutchcraft.
Hello there. Today we have got a very exciting array of new features from our reporters.
But first, are you being watched? If you live on Holloway Road, you probably are. CCTV is by no means a new thing, but do you know how often you're watched day to day? Our reporters investigate.
Holloway Road in North London is officially the most spied upon road in Britain after it emerged that it is watched over by more than 100 closed-circuit television cameras. Does this large volume of CCTV amount to invasion of privacy, or does it help to keep London safe? One 600-metre stretch of Holloway Road in North London has CCTV cameras at 25 locations. Here's what some Londoners think about CCTV.
I would say yes, as it for people that are feeling insecure when they go home, and it's a bit of a risky area, people would prefer to have more cameras around. During the night, during the day, people are busy, there's too many people around, so I don't really think someone thinks about the cameras like the common people, the majority of the people thinks about why there is cameras in every corner.
I think it's good if there's crime, high levels of crime, but I've never personally seen anything. Being from outside of London where there isn't much crime, I can say that it would be a good thing if there is a lot of crime. Privacy, I would say it's kind of a bit of Big Brother style invasion of privacy, and every move, you're looking over your shoulder. But it's good if there's a reason for it, I think.
Yeah, I think Holloway Road is a pretty wealthy area, like the actual roads, and the shops that are here are pretty large depending on which end you're on. So I think the CCTV is pretty good just for that, but I think it is pretty bad, it is kind of like an invasion of privacy, and it depends on how many they have. If they have a lot of CCTV, I think that's a bit much. I don't think they need a lot. I think in certain areas you might need a lot, but not the whole road, like all over.
Yeah, I think it's quite fair. I mean, seeing as what's going on around London, that with the riots, after the riots also, all that stuff happening. So, I mean, they caught quite a few criminals with the CCTV, so to me, to be fair on it, I think it's quite fair to have more CCTV around. Makes you feel safe as well. And if not, if anything ever does happen, at least you know there's someone out there that saw it, so you probably get back what you lost.
Well, I've heard that there's over 200 cameras on Holloway Road, and although I think CCTV cameras are a good idea because it's going to prevent crime, I do think maybe 200 is a bit excessive. But I don't see why not. If people aren't doing anything wrong, then there's no reason to have a problem with them. Because before I was told about the cameras, I didn't actually know about them, so they don't exactly impact my everyday life.
There are 102 CCTV cameras monitoring crime on a 2-mile road, which calculates as one camera every 32 metres. The latest study showed that the UK has 4.2 million surveillance cameras, one for every 14 people, and a fifth of the world's cameras. It has been calculated that every person in the country is caught on cameras around 300 times a day. CCTV, helpful or a menace to society? You decide.
Accountability in the police department has come under scrutiny for many years. Our reporters investigate the grey areas surrounding deaths in custody and the anonymity of police officers.
In these times of adversity, with public funds being cut, it's expensive to investigate death. And if the deceased is dead, well, he's not going to complain, is he? Unfortunately, increasingly, state agents, particularly the police, have a tendency to want anonymity or to be screened. And that worries me because all inquests are meant to be held publicly. If a state agent takes the life of a citizen of this country, why should that state agent have anonymity? Problems on the horizon. Unfortunately, increasingly state agents.
I think today went brilliantly. I think the quality of the discussion after the speeches was really, really good. People were clearly very engaged, and I think it's a tribute to the London Met that they're willing to have an important debate about deaths in custody. I think the growing move towards anonymity of police officers is absolutely outrageous, and also it flies in the face of the importance of open, transparent scrutiny of police officers where their conduct may have contributed to deaths. It doesn't serve the principles of open justice, and it must be resisted.
Unfortunately, 2 decades on, we still have an unacceptable number of restraint-related deaths in this country.
And how do you feel about the police, the new trend of them hiding their identity?
It's nonsense. It's nonsense, because if we're talking about being open and being honest and trying to make sure, get to the bottom of things, then they shouldn't be able to be allowed to hide their identity. It's, at least in my eyes, it's counterproductive then for being open and honest, because then for a family that leaves no closure, because then you can find out, it doesn't matter then what's ruled in terms of the findings of the investigation of the inquest, because then we still don't know who's responsible for what, so no one's actually being held responsible. And that might also feed into then the fact that in all the time that they've been doing the inquest, no one's been found, ever been prosecuted for criminal.
And finally, the April showers may have kept many of you in last weekend, but it didn't dampen the spirits of the punters at London's annual Cheese and Wine Fair.
The annual Cheese and Wine Festival at London's South Bank has drawn in crowds from far and wide every year, and this year is no different.
They come to look and see cheeses they've never seen before.
Okay.
Some have come and say, oh, I was in a certain place and I had this cheese, and we show them the cheese and they relive a lovely experience they've had on holiday. And also to try the wines that they've never seen or heard of, or just have a really good glass of wine as they walk around. It's rather nice to have a glass of wine and walk around shopping, because it sort of loosens the whole sort of purse strings, and very fresh.
Yeah, you've got those ones. You've got the little work garlic.
That's real. That's what you like. This is like the hardly aged.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can salt and pepper it.
Yeah, both of these.
That's what we want though, isn't it?
That's got that. That's got that
we'll get one of those. Yeah, this is like a
slightly denser flavor.
I can't believe we actually found that. I never see it for other. Thanks. And with cheese, it's kind of a luxury item anyway, so you never feel too bad to pay a little bit more for that really fantastic cheese. So much better than what you get in the supermarket in terms of the quality, so it's not a bad thing.
Have you bought anything yet?
Yes,
special?
2 types of cheese. So I've bought one fresh goat's cheese, this one right here, which is something that reminds us of a trip we had to France, and it's really, really hard to find, so it's really exciting. My boyfriend loves it, so we bought that. And
despite the unwelcoming weather over the weekend, enthusiasts turned up to purchase specialist products from all over the world.
Stickleton, and I didn't see anybody. I have asked around, nobody's had soul food today.
Okay.
That was kind of hit or miss at the Borough Market as well. I was also looking for Wigmore, and La Fromagerie had Wigmore, but it was very young, it wasn't ripe enough, so I didn't get that. So I've ended up getting a Spanish cheese, 2 from the Bath Cheese Company, and I'm going to go back and get a couple of French.
The cheesemakers themselves look forward to it as much as the customers, as it gives them a chance to showcase their craft.
We are maturing some of our cheeses ourselves, so we have exclusivity with a lot of products. So we'd like to make it interesting for people, for them to discover something, to share our passion with them basically. That's why we're coming back every year. We're not doing a lot of markets like this one, but the Cheese and Wine Festival definitely, yes. Yes, every year it's fantastic. People who are coming here are very interesting to come. Even if the rain is there, we still have people interested.
There is something for everybody, as Kylie Arakaskal shows her range of cakes for those with a sweet tooth.
more selection of what we do. I have about 40 different flavours of cheesecake, but obviously it's impossible to kind of put it all on the stand, so we kind of select whatever that sells best. And then we also have a selection of cupcakes, which everyone loves, and just a red velvet cake. So the first time I just sold cheesecakes, but it's quite a long process to make it, because once you bake it, you've got to cool it down and to chill it.
Yeah.
So I've kind of incorporated the cupcakes as well, which will it's like the talking point, because when people see the cupcakes, they get attracted by it, and then they come and they see the cheesecake. So it kind of works hand in hand.
Seeking something that can't be found in local supermarkets, many return to the festival in search of distinctive dairies and eclectic ranges of wine.
Would you like some peppers? Yeah, a little bit.
And that's all for this week.
Tune in next week for more London Calling.